touching on the top prop bets in the NBA today. All right, guys, so looking at the board today, it is going to be a board in which we should be able to attack. We are getting some pretty good numbers on some prop bets, both projection-wise and Vegas line-wise. So typically speaking, I like to see those match up. So this is a situation in which we should have a decent day. It doesn't feel like we're going to be forcing in any bets. They're bets that are going to be logical decisions. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to start off with two overs that are looking pretty appealing as it sits right now. So the first one is going to be Desmond Bane over 4.5 rebounds. This line on average is set at minus 138 to get the over across all the sports books. Currently projected to get 5.9. Which is obviously pretty appealing. So the biggest worry people are going to have with this, and it is a good worry, is, we can see 4 out of the last 5 games he's been under, and he's been under it pretty significantly. It's not like it's been close. And it's not like games have been really blowouts or anything like that either. It's just, it seems like a weird kind of statistical thing for him where he was just under that number a decent amount. And that's probably why the sports books are favoring it to get over, because, he has to get back to his mean pretty much. On the season, averages 4.1. We can see he's been significantly lower than that, over those past 5 or 6 games. So look at this number. I mean, this on DK Sports, they have it set at minus 145. So it is a number that to me is too good to pass up on. You guys kind of know my rule by now. If we're getting a good number, especially one that's minus 140 in which the projections are also favoring it, I'm just going to attack that and we're going to win most of the time. Now, obviously that didn't work out yesterday, but those were sports in NHL and college basketball. Okay. Still, more times than not, Jason the favorable odds are going to work. Just pulling up the game. Okay. Not really too much of a blowout risk, although potentially, I guess. 6.5 points. Typically, I like to worry about the blowout once it gets to 7.5 points. Oh, and I probably should have started with this, guys. The golf bets, if you guys place those PrizePicks golf bets, we went 7 for 7. Pretty awesome there. There was a weather delay again in round 1. They had to start their round pretty late yesterday because there's frost on the greens. So they weren't able to finish round 1. Once round 2 starts, then those props will cash, okay? So just so you guys know. So looking at Walker Kessler, this is a very appealing one as well. The line on average is set at minus 131 to get the over, which obviously we want that number to be over minus 137. That's when we're starting to get value on it. And DK Sportsbook has it set at minus 135. Okay, now what do we like about this prop? Well, if we can see, this line is probably going to be based off of more or less his average minutes, okay? And we can still see, besides the average rebounds he gets, it's looking like the over is going to be there, okay? It might be close, okay? So if you look at his projected line based off of the opponent's rebounds given up per minute to opposing centers times by his minutes projection, which is 29 minutes, we can see 9.7. So very close there. And if those minutes aren't there, then this prop probably isn't going to hit. Okay, if we look at based off the Vegas line, if they were properly doing it based off of 29 minutes instead of closer to his average, would be at 13.5. Then if we look at the overall projection, 11.2. So this is very much more a bet based off of the minutes. Okay, we can see in games that he does get closer to 30 minutes, gets over that kind of consistently. Now, it's not a lock and load bet. Okay, the number is only set at minus 131 to get the over. Still is looking like a strong one. Okay, we look at the last time out against Toronto, did get the over there as well. So that's encouraging. And they were a team that made some trades as well. So it wouldn't be surprising to see them kind of go a little bit younger with their minute. And guys, I probably should mention, I know most of you guys know this, or all of you guys know this, but this is the day after the trade deadline. We don't know exactly what the rotations are going to be, what the minutes are going to be. Okay, so sure, we can gain a big edge by being correct on that. But also, in some situations, I think Torrey Craig and KCP are perfect examples of this. Torrey Craig was one of my favorite bets, if not my favorite bet yesterday, because he was going to be in a game in which he was going to get a ton of minutes. And now when you have a player like that where they're just not overall that good, sometimes it just doesn't work out. Now, the flip side, I would say KCP, kind of a similar player. As the day progressed, we had those fantasy point projections that was made available, and he got the over. Okay, so it's tough to rely on kind of role players to step up into a bigger role, okay, even though there could be an edge there. So it is still somewhat of a risky type day in that sense. Oh, they got me. Okay. This was going to be under 5.5 assists. It was minus 149. It was kind of trappy though. And I'll just call this out. So the line is no longer there. Okay. Which is probably good because we were going to be forced into a prop that I didn't love that much. Okay. The under was what the prop was saying. It was minus 149 to get the under, but he was projecting it over 5.9. So we were going to have to make a decision there. I'm actually in this situation. I'm glad PrizePicks bumped it down. Now we're not forced into what might be seen as a bad bet. All right, so now this one is going to be a pretty interesting one. We can already see just based off of the game log would be kind of one that we're interested in, right? Okay. Very curious as to see if Josh Hart's going to get any run. Okay. I would say if Josh Hart does get minutes, I feel like that would eat into the production of RJ Barrett slightly, especially in terms of like non-scoring stats. But if we look at the Vegas line here, this number is set at -142 to get the under. Okay, so a very good number. And if we look on DK Sportsbook, -150. Okay, so this number went up. Okay, very encouraging there. Now let's take a peek at this game. I was kind of hoping the Sixers would be favored by more to win as well, because then that makes it more appealing. You know, RJ Barrett might not get his final rotation. But yeah, this is one that's just pretty appealing. On the season, only averages 5.3. Okay, so that's going to be appealing. We can see basically it's close in a lot of games. Okay, now if he's getting 40 minutes and he can't get over 5.5 rebounds, there's something wrong. But we have kind of seen that consistently. We look at that game against Toronto, though, did have 41 minutes and had 7 rebounds. Okay, so partially a bet on the minutes. If we get 35 out of him instead of 40, it's likely that this is going to hit. So I'm assuming this number is really favored for the under on DK Sportsbook, probably because of Josh Hart, but I don't know the minutes that or the rotations that they're going to have now. It's tough to know that. And now this is one that I don't think I like, but at the same time, it's a good number, so I want to give it to you guys. Once again, kind of my goal is to find the best Vegas odd bets that we have that also correlate with the projection. Okay, it's been pretty successful doing that when they both match up. So looking at Embiid, the under across all the sportsbook 410.5 is -138. So obviously a really good number there. I'll pull up his projected rebounds, 8.3. Okay, which to me probably seems a little bit too low. But at the same time, I was surprised to see that the projections and the sportsbooks were kind of agreeing. Now, if we look at the last game against New York, 14, and that's what worries me. This is one of those situations where maybe we don't jump on the number just yet, because this could be a situation in which the number could be wrong. Okay, and the projections associated with it could be wrong. But if you guys say, okay, no, I like the number that we're getting, you know, the projections that you've had have been accurate, Eric, I'm going to go with it. I'm fine with that as well. Personally, I probably will stay away from this one, just given how well he's played recently. Okay, but if you guys, you know, are like, no, I'm someone that plays the averages every single time, go for it. You know, it's perfectly fine in that sense. Wow. This number was at 21.5 when I started this video. They bumped up to 23. Okay, so the bet would have been the over because the sportsbook were valuing it at 22.5. Okay, so the sportsbook actually bumped theirs up as well. Interesting. Damn. I need to start doing a live stream, I think, is the move. Maybe even during my research. The production quality might be down, you know, but that might be the move. Here's another one too. This was 7.5. It's frustrating, guys. I want to give you guys the best prop numbers that we're getting. And so when I started this video, when I said it was a very strong board, that's because we were getting these two bets where the lines weren't matching up. Okay, so this one is still here. Let's pull it up. Okay, so the under here is currently set collectively at -137. Okay, and so let's go ahead and pull up this one down here. We can see it's projected to be very close. Okay, very close, and he's actually projected to get over this number. Okay, so this is what makes it not a lock and load. But the average line for the sportsbooks has this set collectively at 19. Okay, and this could change throughout the day, especially with points, rebounds, and assists. But PrizePicks has it set at 20.5. So this is one of those situations in which we are seeing something is off here, and so maybe. And this isn't made available by the sportsbooks just yet, but maybe this is something where once the line comes out on the sportsbooks, maybe we could bet the over on the sportsbooks. But it is a line in which I wanted to call up because it wasn't matching up. I'm actually curious about this one. I'm going to pull this one up now too to see if they corrected it, because they had it set at 20.5. Average sportsbook line is set at 21. Let's see. Okay, so this one's still available if you wanted to. We're getting half a point on the sportsbooks, and they were already favoring the over slightly here. Okay, projected to get 22. So it could be a route that you go. Very interested to see how the Minnesota defense looks now. Like, are they going to get better now that Russell's not there? Probably, you know, it's tough to say. And that's honestly, I want to echo this again. Like, that's the most difficult part about today's slate is that not knowing the rotations, not knowing the minutes, not knowing how certain players gone are going to change defense and offense, really, usage as a whole. It's just tough. We can make educated decisions, but at the same time, it is much more of a gambling-based day rather than a data-based day. At the same time, we did see some really good props that we were getting. Now let's get into the PGA board. I haven't really looked at it just yet, so we'll see with these numbers that are out there. Okay, so collectively we might have an edge. So let's look here. Okay, so we are still kind of seeing the overstrokes might be the way to go today. Yesterday, that was the move, was the overstrokes. And if you guys watched that PrizePicks prop video for golf, you heard me say I was a little bit worried about the strokes props because they were all this same, where the edge was saying bet the over. And I'm like, these are world-class players. I hesitate for that. And I did do it on a few. Like Matt Fitzpatrick ended up being one of them. And I still think his is set at 68. So you could do that one. And just collectively, like the over is probably the way to go. I would say JT and Jordan, I'd be fine betting the over. Probably Hideki as well. Maybe even Cantlay as well. But Cantlay is someone who struggled in round 1. Most likely going to have a much better round 2. Same thing with Hideki as well. Okay, struggled in round 1 because of that, being a world-class player, most likely going to have a good round 2. So I would feel most comfortable with like JT and Jordan over 68.5 strokes. Okay, and that's pretty much saying they need to finish 3 under par today for us to lose that bet, which they easily could do. But the scoring average yesterday was over par, and they took away the greens and regulations props, the ones that helped us go 7 for 7, as they probably should have. So looking at birdie or better, we can see it's tough here. Probably mostly a stay away here. Okay, for the ones that we have a line on, it's suggesting that we should probably just stay away. Okay, can Xander make 5 birdies or better? Sure, but that's a big number. Okay, JT, once again, like if he struggles to score, it's going to be because he's not making birdies. I guess we could bet this under and hope for a push. It just feels like we're forcing it at that point. Then just looking at birdie or better matchups, you know, once again, kind of feels like we're forcing it. Nothing too eye-poppingly good. Yeah, probably not going with that. So kind of in conclusion, the question is Patrick Cantlay going to go 4 under par to beat this prop? Maybe not. I would say 3 is pretty much right. So probably going to be a push. JT has been someone that's been very, very much struggling accuracy-wise lately. So I'd be fine betting the over here. Don't feel comfortable with it, but and guys, part of the reason why I don't feel comfortable with it is because we went 7 for 7 yesterday, and like just odds wise, we're not going to be that much more sharp than sportsbooks, PrizePicks, and whatnot. We are literally trying to gain small edges to have a long-term profit. And so when something like that happens, I always kind of like hesitate. Like if you date back to the last 4 kind of bets of the days I gave out prior to yesterday with NBA, where it went 0 for 5. It was 18 straight without a miss. And so like yesterday's results on the NBA slate where we're betting favorable odds, not at all shocking. Okay, it has to come down at some point. And so here's one, like Matt Fitzpatrick has been a little bit banged up, so you could bet the over here as well. He did go -1 yesterday, which was a pretty solid round, but you know, we could do -1 here or over here. And then same thing with Hideki. Like these are all props that are okay. Can 2 out of 3 of them hit? Sure. And then we're going to go ahead and use those with the Desmond Bane over 4.5 rebounds. We saw that was a good one, -138 across the board, projected to get 5.9. Doesn't make anyone feel comfortable given the fact that he hasn't done it, you know, a majority of the times lately. But that's probably the reason why the sportsbooks are saying he is going to get over, because it hasn't happened in a little bit. Has to get back to his mean more so, and I think that's why we're getting this number. Gosh, guys, this is frustrating. Oh my goodness, this is my favorite bet of the day. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, I don't know. I might need to start doing live streams. We'll see. And honestly, I thought I was doing this early enough in the day to the point where these numbers wouldn't be adjusted for like another hour. It's just annoying. And I apologize, guys. Like obviously I can't control it. I know like part of the videos are kind of irrelevant by the time you get here. I can't control it. It sucks. We'll see. Maybe I'll come out with a video this afternoon if we're getting more favorable bets there. Just, you know, I want to give you guys the best bets that we can possible each day. And so I might do that. You know, if we get some really strong bets at around 2 p.m. Central or something like that, I'll come out with a video. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.